everyone, I'm Nicole and today I'm doing the end of year book tag. This tag was created by Ariel Bissett, who I think everybody on BookTube knows as far as I'm aware. There are 6 questions overall. Let's get into them. The first question is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? Yes. Yes, there are. The first one I'm not going to finish. I know I'm not going to finish it. And that is The Complete Works of Shakespeare. I've had this on my shelf for a really long time, so I finally wanted to start it at least. And I did start it. I haven't got very far. As you can see, I started at the beginning of this year with the intention of reading The Complete Works of Shakespeare, but I didn't. I didn't. But it's one that is still unread. Apparently I'm on page 84 of 1332. Yeah, I ain't finishing that this year. I think if it were a regular novel I might be able to push through, or I could convince myself that I might be able to push through. But because it's so many stories, and because with Shakespeare it's like I can get the gist of what's going on, but I don't understand all of the language, so I usually have to take my time with it and, you know, research anything that I'm not maybe quite understanding, so that would take it just infinitely longer, not to mention the fact that I'm reading very old English, so my reading speed would decrease dramatically. So at least I think so. It's basically, in my opinion, like another language, which is crazy considering our language evolved from that language. I always wonder actually if people from back then were to come to our time now, would they understand a word that we're saying? I don't think so. Another book that I have to finish, one of them I'm kind of in the middle of reading, but then I stopped reading it, and then okay, there are 2. There are 2 which I started and I'm kind of in the middle of ish. But I've stopped reading them and moved on to something else. The first one is A Wicked Magic. I do want to finish that. I was hoping to finish it by November, but I've just got a lot on that I really want to read, and I'm liking it but I'm not loving it, but I do want to finish it, so I probably should just power through. But it's another one that I definitely want to get done by the end of the year. And The Assassin's Apprentice. I'm only 40 pages in so far, and it does sound really good and really interesting, but I got to a part where there's this, if you don't like animals being hurt and stuff, I don't know how you'd feel about me saying this, but basically one of the puppies, or basically one of the dogs, die and actually is killed, which I've never been able to deal with dogs being hurt in any kind of media. I actively avoid movies where I know that there are dogs, because I'm terrified the entire way through and I can only focus on the dog. I remember kids' books, I would very, very rarely read one with the dog, because I think the one time I did the dog got hurt and I couldn't do it. Homeward Bound, nope, couldn't do that as a kid. Tried many times, cried every time. So yeah, I got to that point and I was just like, if this is a common theme, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. But I do really want to read it because I've heard such fantastic things, and I don't want it to put me off reading the series, because I know that if I wanted to I could push through and I could cope with it, but it just makes me feel really uneasy. So those are the 3 outstanding currently which I need to finish. 2 of them I reckon I'll be able to finish. One of them, nah, ain't gonna happen this year, sorry. The second question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition you into the end of the year? No, I don't have an autumnal book. I have a Christmas book, which I consider a Christmas book. I read the same book every year on Christmas Eve, so maybe that's kind of, I don't think it's a transitional thing though, that's just I really like the story and I just read it on Christmas Eve. It's The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. I feel like I've mentioned that a lot on this channel. But apart from that, no, I don't really have a specific autumnal book. Yeah, I think I tried to like do my reading based on the seasons, but I tend to just pick up what I fancy. So no autumnal book. I could potentially recommend a few, but I've seen so many videos on like people recommending autumn type books, so I'm sure they're all there, but one that I read in June which I think could be good for autumn is Stalking Jack the Ripper. Another one which I read actually during autumn was The Spellbook of the Lost and Found. I found that very slow to begin with, but eventually I really got into it and actually really enjoyed it. The binding might be good for this time of year. I feel like maybe as it gets into like November, December time, so like end of November, December, maybe The Night Circus would be good. I love that book. That's good for any time of year, but for some reason it just makes me think of like winter and like darkness but in a mystical and bewitching type way. So question 3 is there a new release you are still waiting for? I have a lot of pre-orders, but I don't know if any of them are now for this year. Yeah, I think all of like my pre-orders are now for like January and April. Oh, I'll tell you what, I am waiting for Ready Player 2. I pre-ordered that, but I know that's coming, so I don't think that's what this question is asking. I don't pay that much attention to release dates. I think most of the time I just go on to like Waterstones or Amazon and look at their pre-orders and it's like, oh, that looks really cool. Oh, that author's coming out with a new book. Let's put that on my radar. Most likely just pre-order it. Pre-orders will be the death of me and my bank account. I've said it before, but it's the truth. Question 4, what are 3 books that you want to read by the end of the year? So just off the top of my head, I want to read The Snowman. This was a gift that I got earlier this year and I think it would be really cool to read around Christmas time. I'm assuming because The Snowman, takes place maybe around Christmas, but all I know is what my friend told me, and they told me ages ago. So it was something along the lines of whenever somebody gets killed, they leave a snowman built outside of the window, but the snowman is faced towards the window looking in. So I'm really looking forward to reading it and I really want to pick it up. The second book that I want to read is The Toy Makers. So I got this as a gift a few years ago now and I still haven't read it, but one of my friends got it for me and she said like she absolutely loved it. But also she said that it really reminded her in ways of The Night Circus, and I adore The Night Circus, so that's one that I actually really want to get to and read this year. And for some reason The Toy Makers just makes me feel like it could be a Christmassy, not a Christmassy book, but a good book to read maybe around Christmas. I don't know, because I honestly don't really know what it's about. She just compared it to The Night Circus and I was just like, yes please. The third book I want to read, but I mean I hope I get to it. I've got it planned out for a challenge, hopefully later this month. I hope I will get to it. It's The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I feel like it's been everywhere at the moment where everyone's been talking about like dark academia type of thing. I don't really know what it's about except that it's dark academia. That's like a theme with me though. I don't love going into books like knowing what to expect, but I have heard absolutely fantastic things about it, and apparently it's an autumnal book, so if I can get it done by November or like in the first like week or two of December, that would be great. Number 4, is there a book that you think could shock you and potentially become your favourite by the end of the year? See, shock makes it sound like I'm not anticipating it to be a favourite. See, I don't really have like any major plans for the rest of the reading year, so potentially The Toy Makers, but that wouldn't really shock me if it's similar to The Night Circus. Potentially The Snowman, but again that wouldn't really surprise me because this person has recommended me books before and I've absolutely loved them. Yeah, I don't really know. I think that one's just gonna have to wait and see. It wouldn't surprise me, but then I can't really think of anything that would surprise me, if that makes sense. And the final question is, have you already started making reading plans for 2021? Okay, so I know I just said that I don't really make reading plans, and I also know that I said earlier that I don't really read seasonally, and yet 2 of the books I chose because they sounded like they'd be good for around Christmas. I'm a mass of contradictions. What do you want from me? Anyway, kind of is the answer to that. I haven't really got anything set in stone, to be perfectly honest. All I have are like a few ideas of things that I might like to read beginning of next year, but honestly I haven't got anything set completely in stone. It's just a couple of like ideas that I think could be quite fun. I actually do, oh okay, so I have this thing which I'm planning for next year. Obviously, like so many people on BookTube have like TBR games, and I've been working on one, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So I don't think I can plan anything because I mean we've all seen like the TBR games, they don't really allow for like a lot of planning, so but I have planned that, so I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, so that will be coming soon. In any case, that was the final question. I don't know if I did very well at this, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. If you have any answers to like any of these questions, please feel free to comment them down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!